All right, what's up, guys? Hope you guys are all feeling good today. This is the Minute Cryptic puzzle clue for Monday, October 13th. Let's go ahead and see if I can solve it today. Crew from Vet Center follows Possum without hesitation. Crew could easily be a definition, and it's interesting because I think we just had crew as like a word in connections recently. Yeah, because there was like Buzz and crew, and then there was some other things, but like there was like crew and pack. So it could be like a crew could be referring to like a group of people. It could just be group. But maybe not. Without hesitation. Without could be a deletion thing. So we got to like take away hesitation. The question is there, we would probably have to substitute hesitation then and then delete that from Possum. Well, okay. Is there a word in Possum that's like a synonym for hesitation? No, I don't think so. So I don't know if we, I don't know what we then have to do with without hesitation, unless that is our definition. Without hesitation could be a definition. And then, but vet center follows Possum. So the E, which is the center of vet, also from could be a linking word. It could link our definition. We get this word from the rest of this, maybe? I don't know. I'm just kind of learning how that stuff works because I've seen that in a couple other clues, and I've heard that being brought up in the explanation video a couple times. But I don't know if that really applies in this scenario. But I'm trying to pick up on that, if that is sort of a thing that could help us, like things that link or connect our definition to the rest of the word play and letter play. So anyway, if we do have the center from vet, which is an E, we would say that follows something else, possibly. If it follows something else, then it would go at the end, I'm assuming. But I'm just going to leave that in there for now. So now, Possum without hesitation. I don't know. My brain immediately, when I think of possum, is I think it's also called opossum. And I just think, okay, maybe is there something with a letter O here? We got to do something with the letter O. But I don't know. I don't know how you would reach that conclusion from this. I mean, unless you substitute opossum for possum. But like, why would they make you do that, right? Like, theoretically, couldn't you require somebody to substitute opossum for possum in a puzzle? Why you would do that, I don't know. I guess it would have something to do with the letter O. But like, I feel like that could technically work. But like, I guess my point is like, why would you do that? It feels a little unnecessary. If you want it to be possum, just write possum. If you want it to be opossum, just write opossum. Anyway. But possum without hesitation does not make sense to me as far as what we need to do with that. Like without hesitation, hesitation could be a pause. But again, if pause, what would that mean? Just the P? We get rid of the P, but then there's still 5 letters, O-S-S-U-M. And if we're looking for 4, I mean, unless we're supposed to actually like think, if we're supposed to imagine possum with an E on the end. Oh, I see it. I see it. Literally all guys, I get the answer. It's posse. The answer is posse. And then without hesitation, the hesitation is like an It's a filler word. When you are hesitating when you're speaking, you say so you without the. But what I did to I just literally imagined an E on the end of this, and I just was trying to think about the definition being crew, and just kind of looking at the word and the letters we had, and like, well, what's a word for crew that looks similar to possum or possum, kind of like assume but possum with an E on the end of it. And I was like, okay, yeah, no, there's posse. I saw it. Sometimes you just gotta look at it, and see it. And there we go. I completed it without hints today. There we go. Very happy about that. By the way, I watched a few days ago Angus from this guy. He uploaded a video on the Minute Cryptic channel as sort of an update of like the website, and sort of gave some insight into what to look forward to coming up soon with the website and things like that, stuff regarding memberships and whatnot. And I just thought, if you guys haven't seen that yet, maybe go check it out. I found it pretty interesting. It's interesting because you can see exactly how many people have solved the puzzle, and you can see like what the average is. The average is 1 hint on this one. Let's look at the hints, by the way. Center, follow, and without are indicators. Fodder, vet, possum, hesitation. Definition, crew. The answer will be a synonym. Yeah. So definitely was not thinking of posse, by the way, at first, though. I'm going to watch the video, though. I was not thinking about posse at first, but I was correct that crew was the definition. All right, let's click on this video.
Today.
And we'll play it.
Today's cryptic crossword clue is crew from Vet Center follows possum without hesitation. And this clue comes to us from one of our members, Emily Caldarelli. Thank you, Emily. I really like the use.
By the way, I will say it does still look weird to me, center spelled like that. Like, I'm just not used to center ever being spelled like that. Like, even in like referring to like event. So is center spelled like that always? For, because like this is not an American thing, I feel like. I mean, I feel like, I don't know, in America, as an American, I don't even know the answer to this question. In America, do like places like vet centers or any other place that are centers, do they sometimes spell it like this? Because I feel like it's always going to be CENTER, like always, for like places. But now I'm thinking about it and I'm like, wait, do we, even in America, do we also spell things like this? I actually don't know, but I just know that I'm not used to it. This is not something like, I don't know, maybe some businesses or places. I gotta look this up right now. What does the old Google say about this? No, Americans do not typically spell center as center. Well, yeah, no, we just never do this. Yeah, it's just never. It just looks wrong to me. So every time I see it now, like that's again a weird word. Like why the change? Why is it necessary? Like this is one that like I don't care. There's some words that I do prefer the way, some things that Americans do that I do actually prefer over other countries. Like some changes, some things that Americans do, I don't mind them. In fact, I prefer them. And we can argue about this stuff all day, all night. But some things I do actually like, and I don't mind that they're different. But something like this, like, it wouldn't make a difference to me if we spelled center like that or the other way. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think it really matters. It's just, obviously, I think CENTER is better, or better because that's what I'm used to, right? Like, if you grow up seeing something, nobody uses the other one. Like, I just don't get why. Like, I just don't get where did, at point in history, where did Americans just say, yeah, let's just spell this way? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. Listen, I absolutely hate all the American bashing, by the way. If you guys are not from America and you're going to come into my channel and you're going to bash Americans at all, I will probably delete your comments and probably ban you, by the way, because I am so tired of all of that stuff. I am annoyed by it. It is the one thing that I like. It's not even about, it's not about this stuff, by the way. It's specifically the one thing that I will probably end up blocking you from the channel if you do it repeatedly, by the way. Not if you do it once. I'll just delete your comment. But if you do it multiple times, guys, if you start saying Americans are stupid, you know, or if like you leave a comment that's like, how did you not know that? Oh, you're American. That's why you didn't know that thing. I will get angry and I will block you from the channel. I'm just going to say that right now. I have, if there's one thing that I've grown, to get offended by, it's that the Americans are stupid thing. It genuinely, like, it's one thing that, like, trust me, my stupidity has nothing to do with me being American. Okay, go screw yourself. All right, I am stupid and I am proudly stupid, regardless of my nationality. Anyway. Please do not, please do not attribute my stupidity to my nationality. That is offensive to me. Okay? I own my stupidity. It is my fault. Thank you very much. No. Jokes aside, people do it too much. It would not bother me if it was less often. But the fact that I see it from like almost like, I swear to God, guys, like, can somebody who's, this is a challenge for all of you non-Americans. Can you guys go like 10 minutes? For those of you guys that are not American, can you guys go like 10 minutes interacting with an American without referring to Americans as dumb or stupid? Like, seriously, like the stuff that's like specifically calling people Americans stupid. Can you just seriously go 10 minutes without doing that? Please have some sort of not even self-respect. What's the word? Here's my American stupidity coming across. Can you guys have some sort of what do you call it? Respect when you're being respectable, when you're respecting somebody, when you're being nice, polite. Can you have some amount of politeness? Like, because seriously, my current feelings towards non-Americans, based on what I see on social media, with non-Americans calling Americans stupid, every other sentence, every other comment is like, Americans are stupid. Can you, like, the fact that I see that so often and that sort of prejudice, whether there's truth to it or not, like, listen, I'm not arguing whether there's truth to it or not. I am arguing, be fucking nice, okay? Be a fucking nice, polite person, okay? Maybe there's some truth in the fact that, like, Americans aren't educated as well as other countries. Probably. Listen, I'm not arguing the truth. It's literally, it's annoying as crap. It's annoying as fuck, okay? It's super fucking annoying, okay? And it just, by the way, my impression of non-Americans is that you guys are dicks, you guys are assholes because of how you treat Americans. Seriously, you guys are building an absolute, like, as a whole. Listen, I don't like generalizing people, which is, I try so hard not to stereotype, so hard not to do that sort of thing. It is very, very hard. I am putting in my best effort to not treat other people like that. Okay? Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent here. My point, here's what I want to say. With something like this, spellings of words, things like the metric system, things like all that sort of stuff, fine. I don't mind you talking about that. I don't mind you saying that thing that Americans do is dumb. Why do Americans use Fahrenheit instead of Celsius? I'm perfectly on board with stuff like that. Because that's not, you're not calling an American stupid. You're not generalizing a group of people saying you guys are all stupid. It's just a thing that somebody in the history of the United States or the Americas, right? There's somebody, you know, in the history of our country, our nation, or our continent, somebody changed things from the way the rest of the world did it, like the football thing. Why do Americans call football, and when there's already a football that the world loves? I don't know. That thing, I agree. I am actually on the same side. I think I have a word, by the way. I do have You want to know what I think football should be called? I was gonna make a video about this at some point in my lifetime. I don't know when, but like I think that there's a better name for American football than football. I do. I think there's a better name, you know, and I think that we should call it that. But I'll save that for a future date. You guys could probably come up with it on your own if you wanted to think about it for a little bit, if you know anything about football and how it works. But no, like there's certain things like that. Feel free to say whoever the heck changed things, whoever the heck came up with a name for football, like in America, fine. If you want to say that they're stupid, fine, because you're not attacking me. You're not generalizing me and my friends and my family and my fellow Americans, right? You're not. I'm not insulted or offended by that. But it has taken. What? Wait, you guys can see my right clicks here? Oh, I didn't realize. I do that out of habit, by the way. Sometimes I'll be like just on a website and I'm just bored. I'm like watching a video and I'll just sit here and I'll just like do this a bunch of times. Do you guys do that? Anybody else do this? Like it's just right click, left click, right click, left click, right click, left click. Normally you guys can't see that sort of thing if I'm like on a web page. The recording software doesn't pick up right clicks on a web page. But I guess on YouTube, because you're right clicking on the video player, and I guess it brings up specifically stuff for the YouTube video. I guess it does. Okay, cool. Now I know not to do that thing when it's recording that. But all right. Anyway, a little bit of a side tangent to the side tangent. We will eventually get back to the video, guys. We will eventually watch whatever Angus has to say here, okay? But I had to go off on the American thing because, again, I don't understand why things like center had to ever be changed. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. Like there's some things that like I like better, that like words that like you know what I like? You know what word I like? Some people would. This is a completely controversial opinion, okay? I think that there's going to be people on both sides of things that are going to feel a different way about this. Herbs and herbs. I think in America we're supposed to say herbs. I can never remember. I think it's herbs in America, herbs in elsewhere. Personally, this might be a controversial opinion. I think it's definitely an opinion that I'm going against a lot of Americans, and I think that a lot of people that are not American actually like herbs better than herbs. I like herbs. I don't know. It just sounds better to me. Herbs. I like herbs. Why? Probably because when I was 10 years old and I saw that word for the first time, I pronounced it herbs because that's what I thought. Why would the H be silent? You know, as a 10-year-old, you're trying to learn how to read. You see the word herbs and you're like, it's herbs. You know, I feel like that's one of the words that like probably just because I read it like that for the longest time growing up, I just assumed that it was herbs. And because of that, as an adult now, I just feel like, well, why would I change things? You know, I learned it like that. Nobody taught me how to say it. You don't, by the way, you don't like, it's not like when you learn things, you're consciously sitting there going, oh, does this make sense? Like, I like this version rather than some other interpretation. No, you just have to kind of, the way we learn things is just by copying other people. And, you know, if socially, if you start like, that's why you have all these moments as like, oh, when I was a kid, I learned this thing to be one way. I never realized it was pronounced this certain way. And it wasn't until I was like, you know, older that I learned it. It's because, you know, a lot of stuff doesn't make sense, especially in English. Out of all the languages, like with English, a lot of things are pronounced totally differently. And what am I talking about anymore? Are we just doing a whole podcast right now? All right, guys, let's end this whole rant, whole American thing. I don't like talking about it, really. I really don't. But I thought I would let you guys know that on this channel, if you're calling specifically Americans dumb, or on this channel, if you say anything like, oh, you probably don't know that because you're American. You know, like, I will block you. Like, first time, won't block you. I'll either warn you in the comments, or I will just delete your comment, whatever, because it annoys me. But if you start repeating yourself, there has been one person on the channel that has repeated themselves multiple times doing that, and I don't know if I blocked them or not. I gave them a warning. And if any of you guys else do it, just no.
Today's cryptic crossword clue is crew from Vet Center follows possum without hesitation. And this clue comes to us from one of our members, Emily Caldarelli. Thank you, Emily. I really like the use of without hesitation in this clue. It's my favorite kind of deletion indicator. There are a bunch of ways of deleting letters from other words. One would be to nominate the position of the letter you want to delete. So for example, kitchen without its first would be telling you to remove the first letter of kitchen. Okay. Another way of doing it would be to name specific letters in the word that you want to delete. So if you said hen missing from kitchen, that would be a good tip off that you need to delete the letters H-E-N from kitchen.
Okay. The interesting about, I don't know if he's going to say this or not, but the interesting about without hesitation is like you're thinking, obviously it's a substitution, right? You have to substitute. Well, is it? Yeah, I guess it's a substitution, right? Because is a hesitation. But I don't know what the particular vocabulary or what word you would use for this. But like, isn't really a synonym of hesitation, right? Like sometimes with substitutions, we take synonyms of them and substitute a synonym for it. But in this case, like is just an example of hesitation. So it's like something that falls within that category. So that's interesting. So like if you had something like vehicle and you had to like without vehicle or whatever, some other indicator for like vehicle needs to be substituted. So you could theoretically substitute the word vehicle because it's more of a general term for something more specific like car or truck or something. I wonder if you could do something like without vehicle and then vehicle is like semi, because sometimes we refer to the big trucks as we refer to them as semis. Again, I don't know if that's slang. I don't know if that's again an American thing, you know. Actually, let's Google real quick other words for semi. I'm sure somebody's already done something like this in a yeah, see, here's another thing. Lorry. I've heard the word lorry before. That's not an American thing. Who uses the word lorry? I think semi-trucks might be an Americanism. See, this is one I prefer, semi-trucks. And again, it could just be because that's just what I grew up with. But like, is it British English? Other countries like Ireland, India, even Singapore, Malaysia. I don't know if I can trust the Google AI thing. I'm a little self-conscious about using the Google AI thing because like I want to trust it, but like I don't know. Let's see. What does Canada call? Is Canada also? Because I feel like Canada, a lot of the stuff is the same thing as in the United States. Like maybe even most things are the same, but Canada, it's weird because even Canada and the United States have some things that are slightly different. Like it's just like, you know, I feel like not a lot of stuff is different, but enough stuff. I don't know why Canada would not call it semi-truck, by the way. Like I'm assuming it's just semis in Canada, but like I'm wondering what other things Canada does that's different than the United States. Okay, again, I really don't like thinking about the differences between countries and stuff because it inevitably leads to which country is better, and I hate that. I really just hate it, guys. I don't know if I can express enough just how annoying it is. But like it's one thing from playing these word games is that you see things like center in here. I know somehow I got back onto this subject. We'll stop in like a second, okay? Just very, very briefly, let me finish this quick thought. Just by playing all these word games, connections, Wordle, now these crosswords especially, right? Because you see all sorts of different clues in crosswords that that are references to things that are not from your country, depending on who the author is, or spellings of words, or the usage of slang for stuff that is not common in one region versus another. There's a lot of, especially on like social media with channels that play the games, like mine, I get a lot of comments from people that are not American saying, oh, this is an Americanism or whatever, right? So by having a YouTube channel about this, by playing these games themselves, I am just more conscious of the differences, especially in language and slang and terminology for stuff. I'm more conscious of that sort of thing. And these games have really made me think about the differences between countries a lot more than what I normally would. And, again, the only reason why I'm even slightly uncomfortable bringing up the subject is because there's always going to be this which country is better thing. And I just fucking hate that. I really do. I just hate it. It's annoying. And especially when a lot of the pressure, a lot of the fingers are pointed at Americans as being stupid. It just really, really bothers me. And you guys need to stop. Like, anybody who does that, you guys need to stop. Seriously. It's just rude. It's not polite. And it's just, listen, by the way, if you're friends with somebody, fine, go ahead, mess with them, I don't care if it's socially, if you're in a group of people and you're making fun of each other as part of your socializing, that's fine. But like, if I'm just sitting here playing a game, I'm just recording a video here, I'm just playing Wordle, or I'm playing Connections, or I'm playing the Minute Cryptic, and you have to bring in your prejudice towards America into my video, I'm minding my own business, playing a game, and you have to just say, well, you didn't get it right because you're American, you're stupid. That's where I have a problem with it, is it's like throwing a rock at somebody who's just walking down the street. Like, unprompted, you just have to bring in that part, like, just because it's a thing that people do on social media, which is to pile on Americans. Like, you don't have to be the asshole to just bring it up out of nowhere for no reason, especially for somebody like me, who I'm already self-conscious about play. I already know going into playing crosswords and playing anything trivia based, I know that this is the area that I am below average at, probably, compared to a lot of people. Especially the kinds of people that play these games are going to be people that are automatically selected for being of higher intelligence. Like, who's going to play a trivia game unless you're smart? You know what I mean? And I'm sitting there playing amongst you guys, so so I'm already sort of on the lower end of the smart people. I probably am smarter than the average person, to be fair. But like, the average person doesn't play these games, is my point. This is already it's skewed towards smart people, and I'm definitely on the lower end of that. So I already feel self-conscious. I already feel insecure even recording my gameplay, my solves of these puzzles in front of anybody. So the last thing that I need is some unprompted, you fucking idiots, or you fucking idiot American. You know what I mean? Like, that's the last thing that I need. So anyway, what was the point of me saying that? I think there was a point. Did I already get to my point? I wanted to add that last part on there. What was I talking about? Just the fact that I don't like even having to think about the differences between countries, but playing these games brings that out. So anyway, let's see what else he has to say here. This is gonna be like a 30-minute video because it's like a podcast at this point.
But the third way is to nominate a substitute that you need to delete from kitchen. So instead of saying hen missing from kitchen, you could...
I was going on about the semi thing. I was wondering if it was possible to... If in this these cryptic clues, if you substitute something for another thing, it can be a synonym, of course, but it can also be an example of something. Like if one thing is like a higher level category, you could take a a more specific thing, from that, right? Yeah, of course that's how that works. Yeah, that's got to be how that works. Yeah. Okay. I'm just second guessing myself here.
Say chook missing from kitchen would tell you to delete a chook, and you need to find the word hen in kitchen, kind of like a little bit more cryptic. Or even more cryptic, you could say kitchen without its layer. That'd be pretty cryptic because a hen lays eggs. A hen is a layer. That'd be a nice way to delete hen.
That's way too hard for me.
Anyway, none of that's what's going on in this clue exactly, but we've got something similar to that last example with without hesitation, because there is part of the word possum that can represent hesitation. It's the word a kind of classic hesitant vocalization. And you see this trick in cryptic crossword clues elsewhere. Possum without hesitation is just POSS. And that is followed by vet center, the center of the word vet, and E, giving us the word posse, another word for crew.
Okay, so what are my final thoughts on this one as far as like difficulty? I mean, it took me a second to get it, but I don't think it was that bad. I think it was kind of okay, I think it was probably something that a lot of people could get after thinking about it for a minute. Again, depending on if you were to get it, it says the average here is only 1 hint, so I think that's pretty low. So I think that this does kind of indicate that most people found this one relatively easy if we're just looking at like the average person. But of course, it's not everything is going to be easy for everybody, especially if you're newer to these. So I'm happy to get it without any hints today. Let me know how you guys did on this. Again, sorry for the rant. Sorry for the long talk. I just want to get that out there just so you guys knew. Okay, just so we're on the same page of where I feel about things. All right. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button. See you guys next time.